Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to say good morning to everybody, and I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys are doing well. So Amazon is on my mind today because I read some stories about Amazon that I thought you might find interesting that relate to what Amazon's doing in the business space. Right now, Amazon is doing something really fascinating. They're actually selling cars on Amazon. I don't know if you guys know that you can buy a car on Amazon. How many of y'all knew that? How many of you knew that you can actually go to Amazon and get online, or at least in this month you'll be able to do that and actually buy an automobile, which I think is just the craziest thing in the world. I did not know you could actually buy a complete car online. I think that's very, very strange and very, very weird, but that's apparently what's been going on. And so when you talk about Amazon and what they're doing, they're really innovating in these incredible ways. There's a whole debate right now about whether or not people will actually buy a car online. I don't know. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Would you buy a car on the internet, or would you need to go to the dealership and actually drive the car and see the car? I don't know. I'd be curious to know what you guys think. And the other piece to this that's interesting is that in addition to Amazon selling cars online, they're also laying people off right now. They just let the public know that right now they are letting go of a lot of employees related to their Alexa system. Their Alexa system, they're starting to do layoffs. Amazon was a big hirer during the pandemic. They were one of the biggest hirers out here. All they were doing, Karen Dorsey and Ruth Quittant, I see you in there. All they were doing before during the pandemic was hiring. And they're actually one of the cities, or excuse me, one of the companies that really prospered during the pandemic. A lot of companies did really well during the pandemic based on how they responded. Some of the cities and some of the companies did poorly during the pandemic because they didn't move fast enough. And I was reading an article also in business about cities like San Francisco, where they said San Francisco is actually on what is referred to as a death loop. I think that's what they said, death loop, where literally right now, San Francisco, because they were so slow during the pandemic, because they shut everything down during the pandemic, because they did not let people live, and they wanted to defund the police and everything else. Now downtown San Francisco is a complete ghost town. Now a lot of corporations are leaving. Their occupancy rates for buildings in downtown San Francisco is among the lowest in the nation among major cities. They have a major problem with drugs, fentanyl and stuff like that's everywhere. A lot of random crime that isn't getting dealt with by the police. So right now San Francisco is a little bit of a mess. So if you live in San Fran, just be careful, because and you could probably tell me. I know a lot of y'all live out there, and a lot of y'all have been telling me what you're seeing on these streets, and I just think it's sad. I think it's atrocious. I think it's crazy. And so that's one other thing. Now the other thing about Amazon, do me a favor, by the way, if you haven't done it yet, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching the Black Financial Channel. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I also have a new book out called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. So if you would like to take a look at my book, feel free to go to drboycebooks.com, or also if you'd like to join one of my classes in the Black Business School, where I actually pick stocks and show you guys how to do it yourselves. Just go to drboycestocks.com, drboycestocks.com. The URL is right above my head. You can do the first month free. All right, so let me read a little bit more about Amazon here, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. And thank you, Ruth, for telling everybody to hit the like button. See, I love people like Ruth. You just so you know, I don't even know you, Ruth, but I love you and I appreciate you 100%. I can't say I love you like I love my wife, because that would be kind of weird. But I love you because people like you, intelligent Black people like Renita Jackson and Orlando Smith and Private Talking and Kevin, I see you in there, Miss Diva. I appreciate y'all so much. So I hope it's okay if I take that moment to just say thank you for being you, and thank you for not being scared to be Black. See, a lot of these Negroes out here scared, but I ain't scared. I'm gonna keep on being Black. I don't care what y'all say. Anyway, all right. So here's another article I read about Amazon today. This is in CNN, and it's CNN Business. It says Amazon warns that not complying with return to office mandates could impact your getting promoted. So they said that Amazon is again doubling down on its return to office mandate, warning staff that not complying with it could impact their chances of being promoted. So they're telling employees, look, hey, if you're not coming to work, you can do that if you want to, but you might not have a job, and you definitely ain't going to have a better job, not with this company. Your ability to engage in any form of upward mobility is significantly hindered as a result of your behavior. And this is interesting because this is kind of a backlash and a response to the whole quiet quitting, quiet firing back and forth that was going on between companies and labor. Within 1 year, you went from a world where the employees had a lot of the leverage to the employers getting back some of that leverage. And this is a result of Fed policy, where the Fed went out of their way to restrict the to restrict the economic activity. They increased interest rates, which slows down the economy. And basically what they were really trying to do, to be honest with you, is they were trying to hurt the unemployment rate. They wanted more people to be unemployed. It sounds kind of crazy, but they were like, we have to slow down this economy. We cannot have this economy keep going in the direction that it's been going, because this is not going to be good long term. Now, does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense from a humanitarian standpoint. But from an economic standpoint, there is some logic to that to some extent, but I'm not going to go through all that today. But, it does make sense on some level. Now, here is what they said here. They said employees who don't regularly work in an office at least 3 days a week will find that any potential promotion will be subject to an additional layer of leadership approval, the e-commerce giant confirmed to CNN. There are, quote, a variety of factors we consider when determining an employee's readiness for the next level, Brad Glasser, an Amazon spokesperson, told CNN in a statement. Like any company, we expect employees who are being considered for promotion to be in compliance with company guidelines and policies. In February, some 3 years into the dawn of the work from home era, initially brought on by the pandemic, CEO Andy Jassy. So you think about this, right? I mean, we're 3 years past the pandemic. Give me a yes or no. How many of y'all think the pandemic is pretty much over? Like, give me a yes if you feel safe now, if you're not scared that your auntie is going to kill you if she comes over for Thanksgiving dinner. All right, how many of you feel a lot better now than you felt during the pandemic? Give me a yes. Well, and I asked that question because it is over. It's pretty much over, but the effects are still there. Like I said, cities like San Francisco's on a death loop because they overreacted to the pandemic for one simple reason. They overreacted to the pandemic. They got a little bit too liberal extremists. This whole nonsense about defund the police, like we don't need cops. Now you need cops. Because your stores are getting looted left and right. You got drug addicts on every corner. You got violent crime all over the place. And now nobody wants to be there. And then what happens is that when that crime rises, well, the businesses leave. People leave. Do you know how many millions of people left cities like San Francisco to go down to Texas during the pandemic just because they wanted to get back to a normal life? Now, pay attention now, but I want y'all to pay attention. Austin is booming. Austin does not have San Francisco problems. Austin does not have the problems of Seattle. Austin doesn't have the problems that you see in California and in the North. And I really think that these were predictable phenomena. That these are things that people knew. Like even with inflation right now, the reason that you have high inflation is because we overreacted during the pandemic. They sloppily threw out trillions of dollars just into the sky, and then suddenly it's raining money. Well, when you do that, the problem is that you create inflation, because anything that you give away in extreme supply is not going to maintain its value. Give me a yes if you follow this. Give me a yes if you understand this basic logic of supply and demand, that anything that you flood the market with is going to lose its value, right? It's like there was a time where a beautiful woman willing to have sex with you was like a big thing. But now, the Instagram hoes have flooded the market. Now it's like, now vaginas are like $2 a pound. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of sad. I hate that. It makes me sad. I'm old fashioned that way. I remember the days where you had to work to get access to the good stuff. And now people give you the good stuff and you didn't even ask for it. Okay. So that's what they did with money. They did the same thing with money. They threw it out everywhere. And next thing you know, you got an inflation problem because your money is losing its value. So anyway, so they say here, this is back to Amazon. Like much of the broader business world, Amazon has faced some employee resistance to the mandate. At the end of May, some corporate workers staged a walkout at Amazon Seattle. There's that word, Seattle. Remember Seattle? Seattle's headquarters, citing multiple grievances, including the push to get workers back in the office at least 3 days a week. The walkout in May also occurred months after the company confirmed it was laying off some 27,000 workers over multiple rounds of cuts. In August, meanwhile, Amazon sent a warning email to some of its office workers that said it believed they were not complying with its return to office policies. Now, here's one thing I'm going to say right now. The corporate plantation sucks, right? Corporations, unfortunately, they're the robber barons of this society. If America is going to hell in a handbasket, corporations played a big part in that because they will sell you anything that tastes good, even if it's got rat poison in it, and that's why everybody's getting illnesses like cancer, and you pay more than anybody on earth for your medical care. But it's like you're right, your country's ranked 32nd or 33rd in the world in terms of quality. So corporations are not the angels here; they're not the good guys. The corporate plantation's a terrible place. At the same time, here's the deal. Amazon is not a perfect company, but there are reasons that over 1 million people work at Amazon, and some of those people are very, very happy. Amazon, for all the reasons that Ocasio Cortez, the politician, pushed Amazon out of Brooklyn, there were people in Brooklyn who were very upset about that because they know Amazon creates $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year jobs that allow people to feed their families. So what I would say, if you ask me about Amazon, is Amazon good or is Amazon evil? I'm going to say they're absolutely both. They're just powerful. Power knows no ethics. A lot of times it could be good or evil depending on how it's applied. So what is occurring is that there are narratives that say Amazon is the devil and that they're terrible and that they treat workers like crap and they're bad people. Fine. Okay. I hear that, right? You have a right to say that. Workers deserve rights. We need more labor unions. I'm very much pro-labor. 100%. Give me a guess if you follow this. But here's the other side of that equation that I have to be honest with you. I got to tell you this too, because I love you. Amazon's going to fight back against some of this. Let me tell you what Amazon is doing that should inform you about the future. Amazon is on the cutting edge of the whole AI conversation. Amazon is using AI in ways that you probably can't even imagine. Amazon is hiring thousands of robots every single day. I believe it was Amazon who just announced that they opened an entire factory that's pretty much being run by robots. So what Amazon is doing, this is their long-term play. I'm not saying it's good or bad or either way. You can make what you want of it, but this is what's happening. Okay. This is why you got to be careful if you're overly dependent on the corporate plantation. Amazon's looking to replace human beings with robots and AI because robots and AI, they don't need bathroom breaks. They don't try to form labor unions. They don't get upset because the factory is too hot or too cold. They don't get mad if you ask them to work 12 hours instead of 8. Now, I'm not saying that you should do any of those things. That's not right. You shouldn't be in a sweatshop. But this is where the world is going. This is where the world is going. So one of the things that intelligent Black people are doing right now, intelligent Black people are preparing for the future. And you ain't even got to be Black. Even if you're white, I love you too. You can be an intelligent Black person. You could be one of us because we're the smartest in the room. We're the canaries in the mine. We're the ones who understand the future. So the same way a smart Black man would want to go attend Yale University and learn from the smartest white people, you should be learning from intelligent Black people because we know how to find a way to make a way. So here's what intelligent Black people should be doing, in my opinion. Get your kids away from the corporate plantation. Get them prepared by investing. In the Black Business School, we have something that we offer to the community totally free, called the $5 a day investing plan, such that long-term, your family will have enough resources that your children will never have to work for anybody for their entire life. It's easy for anybody in this room to set their child up where they don't have to work for their entire life. If you don't believe me, just try it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's easy. I'm not even asking you to give me anything. Just text the word stock to 31996. I will give this to you for free. Some of you have already done this. I hope you've done it. If you haven't, I can guide you. It's easy. Text stock, the word stock, to 31996. I'll send you our $5 a day investing plan that millions of people have already used. They're already applying this in their families. And this shows you how $5 a day of investing in the stock market can put your family in an economic position where you never have to work for anybody and you're not worried about whether or not Amazon's hiring because you own stock in Amazon, so you're making money when they make money. In fact, one of the first things I'll send you is a list of AI stocks, companies on the cutting edge of AI, whose stocks I own myself, that I bought for my family and for my children, that you can actually share with your family and your children. So just text the word stock to 31996. If you want to go deeper, you can also go to drboycestocks.com. The URL's above my head, and you can check out to see what we have there. You can do a free trial in their program. I pick stocks for my students every week. Okay. All right. So anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. Please hit that thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Reminder, this podcast is on Spotify. It's also on Apple. And also, we're going to be taking a group trip. B1 people, intelligent Black people, taking a group trip to Egypt next year. So if you'd like to join us on that trip, text the word stock to 31996, and I'll send you a link where you can watch the presentation Jay Cameron did last night about the trip and what we're going to do if you'd like to join us. So feel free to hang out with us there. And don't forget, we're on Apple and Spotify and all that. So just look up my name if you want to listen to me as opposed to watching. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for hanging out.